All right, guys. So we got some trouble in paradise. Friend of the show, Jordan Chariton. He's also a great journalist, by the way. Everybody go check him out over on Status Coup. And also, I think he's got a book coming out on the Flint water crisis. He's been covering that more than anybody. And give him a lot of credit for taking a real serious issue and doing a deep dive when, corporate media just abandoned this a long, long time ago, even though people still don't have clean water. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, so Jordan Chariton interviewed Jill Stein and interviewed Cornel West. And, I mean, this really kind of makes me sad because Cornel kind of went to war with Jill a little bit here. And this is not a time for that, Now, I'm sure Cornel would swear up and down, actually, Jill went to war with me. I didn't go to war with her. You know how these things get. Personal beefs can be ugly. And everybody's got rationalizations for their actions and accusations against the other side. But so first I'll play for you. Jill Stein went on a Jordan Chariton show first. I'll play for you her comments about Cornel West. And then we'll get to Cornel's reaction. But Jill Stein's point is basically like, look, if we want to be serious about accruing power, we want to be serious about having a chance, we want to be serious about getting to that 5% number so we get matching funds and we're treated more seriously. If we want to be serious about growing a left-wing movement, we need to unify, right? We need to unify. We can't have, if we had like 7 different left-wing candidates running, well, you're going to split the vote 7 different ways. By the same token, if you have 2 different left-wing candidates running, you're going to split the left-wing vote, 2 ways. It's better to be unified to give ourselves a chance at getting better numbers. Okay, that's her point. I'll let her make it, and then I'll show you Cornel's response. Remember, Cornel launched with the People's Party, realized that was a mistake, then went with the Green Party, then left there and became an independent. Okay, here we go.
If you had a conversation with him, do you think he should drop out so that the third party left could be unified and you are on more ballots objectively?
So let me say, I don't believe in telling people they can't run. So
Okay.
I would not say that.
Okay.
What I would say is, would you please think strategically here and take a look at France and how we actually beat back the fascist threat? I think it's really important to look at that. I would love, personally.
She says that because the left got together in France. You had the far left and the center left. They did the right thing at the last moment and endorsed whoever was ahead to beat the far right. And it worked.
To hold a conference and have progressives come together, and not just the candidates, but other progressives as well. And let's brainstorm strategy. Let's brainstorm genocide. There are 1 million people, according to the World Food Program, up to 1 million people who are going to die in the next month from this genocide. Do we just want to have a symbolic campaign, or do we really want to ratchet up the pressure on empire? Because you don't have to win the race in order to win the issue. Simply by being a strong, unified campaign, being on the ballot, none of us can afford to either get on the ballot or to defend ourselves against the limitless deep pockets of the Democrats to come after us legally and throw us off the ballot. So our only hope for 1 million people who are under attack right now, who've been tortured for 9 months, have been absolutely living hell. The only hope for them is for us to assert maximum pressure in this election. And I think every candidate who says that they want to stop genocide needs to think strategically about how we actually do that. If we have a voice which is on the ballot across the country, then we cannot be locked out by the media. But if we're not on the ballot across the country, they will lock us out. We will not have a word in edgewise in this election. It will proceed as though everything is fine in Israel and in Gaza. It will not get the time of day. So I think it's really important for people to put aside their personal ambitions and to really take a good hard look. I think this is hard for any candidate to do, which is why this shouldn't just be among candidates. In my view, this should be about the progressive community coming together.
All right, so there you go. She's saying, I know I wouldn't tell them to get out, but I would say let's think strategically, let's have a conference, let's figure out how to move forward in a unified way. That's how I would sum up what she just said there. Okay, so you make of what she said there, whatever you want to make of what she said there, that's my interpretation. I find that very straightforward, very simple. I understand it completely, makes sense to me. So now Cornel West goes on and says this.
I interviewed Dr. Stein, who's obviously running for the Green Party nomination. She didn't outright say you should drop out, but she did insinuate that,
But she could put personal ambition aside and drop out. Who does she think she is? She doesn't think she has personal ambition. She said explicitly her addiction to running for election. The Green Party itself, given its wonderful history that I support in many ways, but it's never been fundamentally committed fighting the legacy of white supremacy and its connection to Cap. It's done some wonderful things. It got wonderful people in it. In my experience with her arrogance, her condescension, her haughtiness, reeking of racist sensibility that I could go into, that I've refused to go into up till now. I got all kind of details on that.
He's basically saying the Green Party doesn't care about race issues and Jill Stein is kind of a racist. That's his reaction to what Jill Stein just said. And then he says, look, I'm not going to get into it, but I can. Oh, if you're going to hurl an accusation like that, I mean, that accusation would be the conclusion of evidence you say you have about Jill Stein and the Green Party. You can't not lay out the evidence and then assert the conclusion that she has racist sensibilities.
We got a little time if you want to share.
No, I just want the people to know. I want the people to know she needs to quit lying on me too. If you're going to have fascist lies and you're going to have the Democratic Party lies, I don't need the Green Party lies either.
What's the lie? What's the lie? What's the lie? I'm genuinely curious. What she said is, let's have like a conference. I wouldn't tell him to drop out. I would say, let's have a conference. Let's figure out a way to move forward in a unified way. What's the lie?
Was there something during your experience with the Green Party that made you think that they're not serious about racial equality?
It was more a personal thing of a certain disrespect in the use of the Green Party's apparatus as a way of my campaign being a vehicle for the mobilization of their petitions and the fights over trying to get access to the signatures once we got it and the spending of the money and so forth and so on. No, I don't want to go into all the details. I've held off all this time. She continues to lie about me.
What's the lie? And also what you were describing as a problem is standard political stuff that has to be done to get on ballots. If you are accusing the Green Party and or Jill Stein of misspending funds, say it. If you're saying she has racist sensibilities, well, give me a reason to believe that that's true. Say, hey, this is what happened on Wednesday, March 22nd, and she said this, and we did this, and they said, we're not going to put that in our platform. Say it. Like, what is he doing?
Don't like that. I don't like lies. I don't care if it comes from a Jill Stein of the Green Party. I don't care if it comes from a Trump of the Republican Party. I don't care if it comes from a Kamala Harris of the Democratic Party. Lies are lies, and they're tied to ways in which we can get at the truth and justice. And I'm the one that needs to drop out and tell Sister Melina Abdullah, my vice presidential running mate, that she ought not to be, and I be a VP for Jill Stein. Please, that is so pathetic and ridiculous.
Look, man. You guys take away your own conclusions, but this sounds personal to me. This doesn't sound like it's political. This doesn't sound like it's about the issues. This doesn't sound like it's about trying to unify and find the best way forward. This sounds personal.
Ridiculous and ludicrous.
And how would you answer? Because you're not someone who's accused of, being egomaniac or, some type of
listening to her, right. You would think that.
All right. Look, when you are either the Libertarian Party or the Green Party or like a smaller third party movement in a system that's dominated by the two major parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, you can't afford to have everything devolve into name calling and petty personal drama. You can't afford to do it. In fact, what you have to do is actually what Jill Stein said at the beginning there, which is we got to figure out a way forward and we got to be unified. However that comes about, right? If there's a conference and Jill Stein is picked over Cornel to represent the left third party movement, or Cornel is picked over Jill Stein to represent the left third party movement, there needs to be a coming together, a sharpness to the message, hammering home the talking points, screaming from the rooftops, coalescing, and being in control. And I don't know if does Cornel West not understand that if you have a Jill Stein and a Cornel West on the ballot, that splits the left vote? It delegitimizes and splinters the left further. And especially once you get to the point where not only are you split politically, but also clearly there's personal animus and disagreement. That's not good at a time when we're trying to unify to fight back against genocide. It feels very personal. And again, if you're going to make this accusation that Jill Stein is basically a racist, give an argument. You can't just say it and expect everybody to be like, oh yeah, Jill Stein's a racist, and then move on as if that's definitely true. No, I need reasons. I need evidence. I need what happened that is leading you to that conclusion. What happened that you have this seemingly visceral hatred of Jill Stein? right? I don't understand, but it's a shame because I know myself and many others would love for there to be a unified left-wing third-party movement. And also, more importantly, I should say, we love to have ranked choice voting so that, left-wing third-party movements overnight can have more viability, right? It would overnight, if we had ranked choice voting, the Libertarians would be more viable, the Greens would be more viable, any other party or candidate that has ballot access would be more viable. And look, fundamentally, at the end of the day, this is what it all boils down to, in my mind. I don't know how many fucking ballots Cornel West is going to be on. I don't know if he's going to be on any ballots, right? Maybe he'll be on some, but he ain't going to be on 50 ballots. He ain't going to be on 40 ballots. So then ultimately, what is the point then, right? If the Libertarians get on 50 out of 50 or 48 out of 50 or whatever it is, and the Greens get on, let's say, 48 out of 50, 46, 47 out of 50, whatever, at least you're in the arena in that scenario, right? If you're running as a third party, if you're running as an independent type, but you can't get on any ballots, then what are we doing here? So I don't know, man. They should work it out, but it really is sad. It's a damn shame that there's this perception that people have of the third party movement. And the perception is deeply unserious, don't have their shit together, not organized. They're basically playing pretend while the Democrats and the Republicans do real politics. Like, that's the view of it. And having this sort of animus and anger and, personal aggression in inter-left fight like this, does that not validate those voices? So I see nothing wrong with what Jill Stein floated. Let's have a conference. Let's get together. Let's pick a way forward. Let's unify. However that goes, it goes. But obviously we need to put the issues front and center, and we need to, have one path that we all go together. It's all fun and games to do that. Anybody can and should run on whatever. But at the end of the day, there's a math issue there. The math issue, you are less relevant if you're so splintered. The establishment knows this, which is why after Bernie won the first 3 contests, all the centrists dropped out and endorsed Biden and put him on their shoulders and got him across the finish line. Because they understood we have a math issue here. You can't override math. Math is what it is. So we have to find a way to unify and do it. And that's why there's more strategy, more organization among the establishment wings. And I would like for the left to be more serious on that. But it doesn't look like it's more serious. So anyway, you guys tell me, comment below. I mean, look, the fact that Cornel West launched with the People's Party, then went to the Green Party, then went to the Independent, it went as an independent. I mean, it's like there should have been more planning up front instead of sort of flailing around after you throw your hat in the ring, right? And so I can understand the frustration from Green Party types who are like, you think your campaign is helping? You think it's helping? Kind of hard to make that argument at this point, isn't it? But anyway, you tell me in the comment section below what you make of it. It's just a shame that you have Cornel West and Jill Stein now beefing. Like, that's the last thing we need, bro. That's the last thing we need at this moment. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.